Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 thriller film The Fanatic, a film that stars Jobn Travolta and Devon Sawa, who you will recognise from the Final Destination movies, and it is written and directed bizarrely by Fred Durst. If that name sounds familiar, yes, he was the lead singer of Limp Bizkit. And this film, even more bizarrely, is produced by Bill Kenwright, who was the former chairman of Everton Football Club. He may well still be the chairman of Everton Football Club, but I know he used to be, certainly. So this is, straight off the bat, it's just a bizarre blend of people involved in this film. Now this film's getting a lot of press at the minute because it's absolutely bombed at the box office, as it seems most of Jobn Travolta's films do these days. And it's been subject to some pretty grueling reviews so far. And what is this film about? Well, this film focuses on Jobn Travolta's character, Moose, who is an obsessed fan who is obsessed with his favourite action star called Hunter Dunbar, who is played by Devon Sawa. Obsessed to the point where he will do anything to get his autograph and be noticed by him. And it starts off innocently enough as trying to go to a party to see if he's there to get his autograph, queuing up in like a book signing to try and get his autograph, and it all goes wrong. He can't seem to get what he wants, Moose, Jobn Travolta's character, so he escalates it and starts turning up at Hunter Dunbar's house, and things start escalating from there in completely bizarre ways. Right, I genuinely not really sure where to start with this film. Yeah, is this film as bad as everyone's saying? Yes, it is. And it's one of these films that falls into its so bad it's good categories. It's not unwatchable, but it's so bizarrely made, and there's so many poor choices and decisions made with this film, it's hard to know where to start. The first thing I will start with is Jobn Travolta's performance. In another film it might have worked. If it was a film about someone with learning disabilities, and it was focusing on that and more about him, it may well have worked. In this film it just seems out of place, bizarre, and a little bit insulting to people with disabilities, and this comes from someone who has worked all their adult life in the care industry with people with learning disabilities. I've been around them all my life, and this performance by Jobn Travolta is lazy. If he's trying to mimic someone with learning disabilities, it's lazy, because he's not a normal guy with mental problems here. Some of the actions that he is displaying in this film clearly tell me that he's got learning disabilities, and I found bits of it quite insulting. But like I say, in a different setting, this performance, toned down a lot, could have worked. This film clumsily tries to shine the light on the dark side of Hollywood, but it does it in such a way that it's like hitting and nailing with a nuclear weapon. It's so clumsy. Fred Durst as a director, I think he's directed a couple of minor projects previously. He ain't got no eye for direction, and he must have such a huge ego. There's even a part in this film where Devon Sawa's character tells his son, "Shall we put some music on in the car?" And guess what he plays? Limp Bizkit. Of course he does. Does anybody listen to Limp Bizkit anymore? I seriously doubt that. To say that he's so obsessed with this actor and this star, everybody keeps feeding this obsession. Everybody. The guy at the local store where he buys all his memorabilia from's feeding it. He's only got one friend who's like a paparazzi photographer. She keeps feeding it. She keeps sending him to parties, and she even gives him a list on an app of where all the famous stars live, so which is where he finds where Hunter Dunbar lives. Everybody keeps feeding this obsession, and it's clear this could turn dark. This obsession that he has with this actor. There's just so many weird sequences. There's a killing takes place in this film. Just falls dead in the garden of Hunter Dunbar, and nobody spots this body. And it's there for at least a day, and the garden's there every day, pretty much. Nobody notices this body. Nobody. Until it's conveniently found at the end. Periodically throughout the film there's this weird art that keeps popping up, that has no seeming point to it. There might be one, but I struggle to even have the energy to think of what it could mean. This artwork that keeps popping up, these cartoons, it's weird. The first line that comes out of Jobn Travolta's mouth, and I kid you not, in this film is, I can't talk too long, I've got to poo. I'm not kidding, that's the first line that comes out of his mouth in this film. I nearly choked on my drink, I couldn't believe it. And the major problem with this film, with the writing, is there is nobody to root for. And by that I mean, Jobn Travolta's character, Moose, is clearly stepping out of line. He's stalking this guy. He's doing a lot of questionable things, and when you watch the film, you'll clearly understand what I mean by that. But Devon Sawyer's character, Hunter Dunbar, is such an absolute arsehole to Moose. You don't feel any sympathy for this character at all. He's a complete and utter jerk throughout the film. So you don't feel sympathy and you don't root for anybody in this film because they're both in the wrong. So therefore you're kind of stuck in the middle thinking, well, I don't care, really. I don't feel sympathy for any of you. And the last 15 minutes are so hilarious. I mean, they market Jobn Travolta on some of the posters for this film as some kind of psycho, with knife and blood on it and all this kind of stuff. Couldn't be further from the truth by the end, to be honest, and that's not really spoiling anything. It's just hilarious. There's some stuff happening in this film, I'm not kidding, will make you cringe. It's so embarrassingly bad. And there's really lazy voiceover that goes on throughout the film that's done by Anna Goja, who plays like the paparazzi photographer, and it's lazy and pointless, and it doesn't need to be in the film. So there's so much wrong with this film, it has to get a 3 out of 10. It's lazy writing, poor direction, a lazy performance by Jobn Travolta that I didn't need to be as extreme as it was, and it leaves you with a film that you just end up not caring about because there is literally nobody to root for.